I'm just getting the sound right with you guys in the room. It's close enough. Sing it if you know it. That's the only words you know, right? There we go, nice. There we go, thank you so much. Let me get some more low end here. Well, my name's Richard Smith, just like Frank said. He said a whole bunch of stuff that was created by AI these days. But hopefully the AI learned it from somewhere. Reasonably true. Kicked off with a little thumb picking for you. Let me go straight into the Jerry Reed. You know, I was looking at, Frank sent me a list of what I played last year. How many of you were here last year? How many of you are first timers seeing me? Well, how about? Well, you know what? I'll just see how I feel. I'll try and play some different ones and maybe some of the same ones. We'll see. Straight into the Jerry Reed fans. How many of you out there? All right. I grew up on that guy's music, and I knew who he was before Smokey and the Bandit came out. tune. Straight into it. That was called Down Home. I remember Chet Atkins saying that was the first tune that Jerry ever sent to him, and he ended up recording it, and I'll play you some of those, you know, the obscure stuff. I like the hits as well, you know, Eastbound and Down and Guitar Man, and She Got the Gold Mine, I Got the Shaft. A few of those things. I'm more of a side B track 6 kind of a guy, you know. I like the deep cuts. Here's another one of his instrumentals. This one is called Mr. Lucky. Thank you, folks. Mr. Lucky was the name of that one. How many people heard that one before? Like 2 of you, 3 of you, none of you. Yeah, well, all right. I should have told you I wrote it. Hey, yeah.
We were lucky to hear.
Jerry Reed tunes, yeah. Okay, now I see. Okay, I'm getting there now. I'm getting there. That's what I needed. East Wind was the name of that one. A little Jerry Reed, you know, this is, have you even got a piece of carpet, have you, Frank? Unless that is a decent sounding drummer. That's my foot hitting the floor, keeping time. I got used to patting my foot, and now I can't stop. It's like it's got a life of its own. It's no big deal. I'll take my shoe off, but that'll cause all manner of other problems, you know. Jerry Reed. 1, 2, 1. I'll tell you what. How about I do a couple of instrumentals here? Sorry, a couple of vocals. Excuse me. Well, here's one that actually is written. One I learned from Jerry. Written by the great John Knowles. How many people know John Knowles? CGP. He's one of the few living CGPs. Tommy Emmanuel, John Knowles, Steve Wariner. I think that's it, right? I think those are the only 3. And the CGP was certified guitar player. It was something that Chet did back in the mid-80s. He figured he never went to college, he never got his doctorate, and he never got any letters after his name. But thank you, Frank, that's great. And he figured he needed some letters after his name, and that he'd had a big enough career and had enough sway that if he just gave himself some letters, it would mean something, and it did. So he started giving those letters to other people after about 20 years. CGP, certified guitar player, and that was it. It's just Chet Atkins, CGP. It sounded good. Letters after your name. And Jerry Reed was also a CGP, but John Knowles wrote this. John is a CGP, and he wrote this one back in about 75, I think. I worked hard on that lick, folks.
I bet.
I did. It took me a long time. It was over in like 3 seconds. So I'm going to do it again. Otherwise, it was a waste of time. All right. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what I was fishing for. I'm going to play you. This is a Jerry Reed tune. It's about the ghost of Nashville. There you go. I already played the lick. Nashville Phantom. I've been hanging around every Saturday Night Live since 1925, when the Opry first came to town. I've lived in barnyards, boxcars, and freight yards. Ain't a honky-tonk where I ain't been. Raised on goo-goo bars, moonshine from fruit jars. Gonna lose but determined to win. I am the Phantom of the Opry. I discovered all the stars, my friend. I am the spirit of country music. Keep those cards and letters coming in. I gave Mother Maybelle her thumb pick, Carl Perkins his blue suede shoes. I taught Acuff to fiddle, made Jimmy Dickens little, and I sang Hank Williams the blues. I taught Grandpa Jones how to banjo. Chet could pick, but I learned him to grin. I laid howdy on Minnie, made string beans skinny, and I do it all over again. I am the Phantom of the Opry. I discovered all the stars, my friend. I am the spirit of country music. Keep those cards and letters coming in. Thank you. The Phantom of the Opry, folks. Let me see, what have I got then? I know what I'll do. Yeah, I'll do you one more little Jerry Reed medley of instrumentals. sticking there. It's moving. It's got a life of its own, folks. It's like putting my foot on my Dachshund or something, you know.
He put it under his chair.
Oh, I'm good. There we go. There we go. How about that? Genius.
Yeah.
There you go. You guys must be scientists. Look at that inertia. Brilliant.
So how did you learn that tune right there?
Ah.
Did Jerry show it to you?
No, I learned it years ago, when I was a kid, just like learning it by ear, just like learning it. That's the first note. There's the second note. There's the third note, and then figure out what the fourth note is, and then that's it. And that's kind of, it's where it goes. Yeah, there you go. All right, so where are we now? Where are we? What are we gonna do here? Some thumb picking tunes. I've had some thumb picking tunes here. I could play it. We could go to Hawaii. Maybe I'll play a little standard here. A little standard. little polka dots and moonbeams. Yeah, all around a pug-nosed dream. Those are the real words. Jimmy Van Heusen, he was pretty much Frank's personal songwriter. Not Frank. You know, the other Frank. There are two Franks. Let me see here. '60s. These are my grandmother's drapes. Another pair of them. Some more of my grandmother's drapes here. I'm going for the mid-century. You know, I never had a brand, folks. You know, every artist has a brand. You know, you can't just sell what the person does. Whatever an act has, like, you know, it's the Elton John sunglasses, it's the Dolly Parton wig and shoes. And, it's the Kiss, it's the brand, it's the image. I never had that, so I'm going with, I don't know if this is a strong enough brand, but I'm going with it. You know, mid-century modern thing, you know, it's like, it's that guy. Let me see, but I'm going with the 60s here. See, all right, this one comes with a 4-part questionnaire. I want to know the name of the artist, the name of the song, the name of the album, and the game show. Actually, I kind of gave that away, didn't I? But it's a TV show. Let me see. The dating game, that's right, it was a dating game. No, who was it, guys? Herb Alpert.
I just saw him do it last year.
You did, there you go. I know he's Herb Alpert, the Tijuana Brass, it was the dating game. The name of the album was actually Going Places, and the song? The song.
That's the tough one.
That's the tough one. It's called Spanish Flea.
That's it.
And there's actually a version of it on YouTube that someone's put on there where it just loops and loops over and over for an entire hour. Just in case, you know, if you want, like, yeah, if you want to see how much you can take of something, it's like, that's a good one. But it's good. I think it's one of those things that I'll do to myself, you know, it's like, okay, I've got an hour, you know, on one of my 7-hour drives to the next gig. I'll think, I wonder if I can listen to that for an hour. You know, you just play games with yourself, you call people, you're trying to think of things to do on 7-hour drives. So, yeah, that was one of them. Let me see. thumb picking tunes, you gotta love them. Okay, what's up? What's up here? This is what we'll do. We'll stick with the 60s for a bit. That was 1920s though, so we jumped. We went through a time warp there. There we go. I'll find the tempo. Build the tension. Shaking it loose. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thanks very much. Beatles. Maybe I'll... Let me see. What do I want? What do I fancy, guys? Florida, last 2 months. So if I get a Disney song with Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take a little break after this one, Zach, about good friends. I'll give you guys chances at cookies and CDs. I'll set them up, folks. I do have a few for you to take home to your and play on your thumb drives. Let me see. Walking the strings. Alrighty, folks, I will see you part 2. Alrighty, folks, I think we're starting up again here.
Yeah.
How are we doing? Travis, here's the Saturday Night Shuffle. Saturday Night Shuffle. It's time for a waltz, I think. Texas waltz. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Fingerings. It's one waltz. Let's go to, how about we go to Hawaii here? I was telling Joe, I was telling Frank about this actually. I was thinking of Joe Robinson. I was telling Frank earlier about this story. I was in Hawaii in 2018, January. I was there for a 10-day vacation. I never go on vacation. And I was on vacation because, I'm always on the road, so the last thing I want to do is go away. Yeah. Vacation is time at my house that I'm out paying for. But we went to Hawaii. It was my wife's 50th, and when there were some friends, and it was January 2018 when they had the missile crisis, if you remember that, when everyone's cell phone went off, and they said my cell phone. It was about 7:15 a.m. and I'm on vacation, so I'm not getting up at 7:15. No thanks. Especially when I'm 2-3 hours behind, 5 hours behind. So my cell phone went off. It says, emergency, incoming missile, this is not a drill. So I looked at this and I thought, nah. And I went back to sleep. I just wasn't buying it, and I didn't care anyway. I was too tired to do anything about it. Anyway, that's my little Hawaii story. I'm gonna play you some Hawaiian music. Here's a little Hawaiian slack key in this open G tuning. Here's one's called Opihi Moi Moi. It means little limpet, which is like a fish. I think it means more than that, right? Little limpet. It's food. Thank you. Opihi Moi Moi. Little Hawaiian slack key guitar. I don't know really what that means. The actual... In fact, I've heard it's a little rude. I don't know. Maybe somebody here knows. Let's have a look.
I don't know if that'll be wide enough.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I think we're all right. I had a little go. Thank you, folks. All right. Capo, just one tune. That'll do. That'll do. Thank you, Frank.
Is Serenade to Summer on that list tonight?
That's a duo, really. You know. Yeah, I don't really do that one as a solo one. I'll do it. I'll play the backup if you're humming. I mean, I could kind of do, you know, get out of my range, Terry.
It's such a good one.
You're not gonna like it. How you liking it? Not this bit. It'll be like that for another 2.5 minutes. I like the tune, you know, but what I need is, I need somebody like with a steel string, like milking it, or a fiddle maybe, or maybe my wife on cello. There we go. Maureen. Strutting. Here's my favorite lick. Thank you. Jerry Reed. Some more, I guess we're back to Jerry Reed mode, folks. We got that drop D happening. Let me play this one. I'll play another, sing another vocal here. Maybe I'll do a couple of vocals on the trot. This is one that Johnny Cash had a hit with. 6'6", he stood on the ground, weighed 235 pounds. But I saw that giant of a man brought down to his knees by love. He was the kind of man that would gamble on luck, look you in the eye and never back up. But I saw him crying like a little wet pup because of love. Can't see it with your eyes, hold it in your hand, but like the wind it covers our land, strong enough to rule the heart of any man, this thing called love. It can lift you up, it can let you down, take your world and turn it all around. Ever since time, nothing's ever been found stronger than love. Most men are like me, they struggle and doubt, they trouble their minds day in and day out, too busy with living to worry about a thing called love. But when I see a mother's tenderness as she holds her young close to her breast, I thank God this world's been blessed with a thing called love. Can't see it with your eyes, hold it in your hand, but like the wind it covers our land, strong enough to grow the heart of any man, this thing called love. It can lift you up, it can let you down, take your world and turn it all around. Ever since time, nothing's ever been found stronger than love. Thank you, folks. I'm down there, aren't I? Let me try this one. Let me try this. All right, Mark Cass Stevens. Who knows Mark? Mark Cass Stevens. He's played on over 100 #1 country hits. Studio guy. Local studio musician. So he'd show up, mostly play rhythm guitar, Garth Brooks, all those hits. So Mark's there, 10 o'clock session, Union Scale. That's Mark. And somebody wailing it away over the top. Mark playing rhythm guitar, somebody singing over the top, and then the next session, you know, next song. And then the next song. And so on, you know, rhythm guitar. But he, in his spare time, he enjoyed writing ragtime tunes, and he wrote this one for Chet, in fact, called All Thumbs. All thumbs, Mark Cass Stevens. All right. 2 with the capo. Let me. Making sure I'm in tune, folks. Let me see here. What have I got? Thank you. I appreciate it. Stretching it out, folks.
Hey, you warmed up there?
I'm getting there. This is my warm-up for Asheville tomorrow. Asheville. Actually, that's going to be Black Mountain tomorrow. Some of them, it depends, I guess. Asheville. Next to the Ace Hardware. That's that thick North Carolina accent. Hardware. I remember the first time I heard that. It's like, that's great. I'm in the movie. I'm in the movie now. Let me see. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Gershwin.
Yeah.
Embraceable You. There you go. Embraceable You about a sheep. I probably said that last year. I can check that. I've been using it. It goes down sometimes.
That joke took a U-turn.
Is it? Hey! All right, that stays with me. Ken, that stays with me, man. How many guitar players out there? Not doing it for a living though, right? This is about doing it for a living, folks. If you're dumb enough. Would you like to play the guitar? Take your money home in a jar from a coffee house or a bar? Or would you rather get a job? A job is the thing that makes you get out of bed. You work every day until you're dead. Your back is aching and your brain is numb, and you just can't wait until the weekends come. But if you don't want to starve or beg or rob, you probably have to get a job. Would you like to play the guitar? Drive for miles and miles in your car and pretend that you're a big star? Or would you rather book the gig? The agent's the guy who gets his 20%. What he said ain't exactly what he meant. He'll clean you out in ways you never thought, 'cause he's good at business and he knows you're not. And he'll sue if you ever make it big, 'cause he's the one who booked the gig. Would you like to play the guitar for a living? Hardy har har. I'll admit it's kind of bizarre. Or would you rather be the wife? The wife is the one who has to rescue our butts. She's either a saint or else she's nuts. She gets impatient and she gets annoyed, 'cause she's the one who must remain employed. And by the way, if you want to wreck your life, become a guitar player's wife. 'Cause all the monkeys aren't in the zoo. They can be trained to play guitar too, and do a whole lot better than you. But even if you don't go far, you could be worse off than you are. At least you're playing your guitar. There we go. It's the truth. It's all the truth. Let me see what else I got, folks. This one's called The Watkins Man. He would make his... I know I played this one last year. This one was on the list, I think. A little louder, I think. It's time to get there. Time for the energy. This is one that the Watkins Man making his rounds up in Minnesota as he used to. 5 chord, folks. That's the 5 chord. Hold the tension, because the tension, this is where it holds it right there. You want it to go to the 1. No, I'm not going there. What you can do is you can create even more tension with the cunning use of the augmented chord. Check it out. Guitar players, little simple 2-finger chord. You move it every other fret, and as long as you pull the right faces, you can create tension. Even more tension, you can use the diminished chord. I know you've all heard of it. It's one that they used to use in those old black and white films when the piano player would play. The organist or the piano player, in the cinema, and the girl would be tied to the railroad tracks, and the piano player would build the tension by doing this. Train's coming. A little open. The Watkins Man. Thank you, folks. All right. I'll play you a couple more here. We're going back to the middle of, actually back to the early 1900s here. Haven't done any Scott Joplin yet. Let me see. There it is. folks. I'm going to play you one more, Frank. Sylvie, thank you so much for having me again. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Always a blast. I could. All right. All right. All right. I guess I've been asked to do this one. It's the first tune I ever learned. First song I ever remember hearing down in my grandfather's basement, and the old '78 record with Little Nipper staring up at me, little dog spinning around on the label getting dizzy, and the guy's voice coming out of that brass cone made me want to sing and play. I'm going to try and get it as close as I can to that old '78. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee waltz, and an old friend I happened to see introduced him to my loved one. What's in my friend stole my money for the night at ball. Now how I was in the night they were playing pin, 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 football. You're all old enough to remember that. I'm barely old enough, but I remember those old records, the record labels, man, you know. I remember we had a kids' playroom, we had all those vinyl records. For some reason, I don't know why we never got caught or never got in trouble, but me and my brother and I, I remember us in the playroom with stacks of old records, and just occasionally, you know, just watching them hit the floor and smash to pieces like light bulbs, you know. Yeah, did you ever smash a light bulb against the wall and just listen to it go like that, you know, the vacuum inside it? It was kind of the same. I didn't know, you know, these things could be worth thousands today. And there's me and my 3-year-old, you know, I'm 2 and my brother's 3, and we're using these things as frisbees just to see him smash against the wall. I don't know why we never got in trouble for that. Yeah, we totally should have done, but anyway, just a little story. How many, did any of you guys do that?
No.
See, I was hoping that I wouldn't feel so bad. No, we didn't. Thank you again, folks. Frank, Sylvie, thank you so much for having me. All right, me see you. Thank you, folks. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.